My child, my hands always long for you, but today I am calling you here for another reason. There is an emergency situation about to happen nearby the area you are living, and you need to be careful. Yes, my child, you need to be careful regarding the shifts in the atmosphere, the subtle tremors within the earth, the silence before the wind changes its course. There are signs, both visible and hidden, that speak of what is coming, but many do not see, many do not hear. Yet I have chosen you, and I have called you not only to protect you, but that you might also warn others. My voice does not come in thunder alone. Often I whisper into the deepest corners of your soul. This is one of those times. The urgency is not meant to frighten you, but to awaken you. My child, awaken. Open the eyes of your spirit. This is not the time to sleep spiritually or emotionally. The danger draws near not just in physical form, but also in the unseen battles that rage in the spirit. There are forces moving, some through men, others through spirits that are working to stir confusion, panic, and destruction. Do not be swept away in the tide of fear, nor follow the crowd when they scatter without understanding. Listen instead to the quiet leading I have placed within you. I am speaking through the unease you feel at night, through the restlessness that stirs when the world seems silent. That is my spirit quickening your heart. My child, there is a shaking coming, not only of the earth, but of systems, of strongholds, of foundations that men have trusted for generations. The comfort and routine many have come to depend on shall be disrupted, not because I desire to harm, but because the hearts of many have grown hard, proud, and self-reliant. They have built towers in their own name and filled their cities with idols that wear many disguises. My mercy is still stretched out, but judgment is drawing near, not to destroy without cause, but to correct with righteousness. Do not be alarmed when you see the signs. The fire will not consume you if you are hidden in me. The wind will not uproot you if your roots are deep in my word. But I urge you now to act. Prepare not in fear, but in faith. Store not only food and water for the body, but more urgently store wisdom, prayer, and discernment for the soul. Bind yourself to my truth. Wrap yourself in humility. Forgive those who wounded you, and lay down every grudge. For these things weigh the spirit and hinder the clarity you will need in the coming days. There will be a stirring in the skies. Some will call it nature, others will name it coincidence. But you, my child, will know it is the moving of my hand. The clouds will gather with purpose. Rain will fall where it has long been dry, and drought will grip where waters once flowed freely. Do not interpret these things with carnal eyes. Ask me, and I will reveal the hidden meanings. I have not left you unaware. Remember the dreams I placed within you. Recall the visions you brushed aside. Revisit the scriptures that burned in your heart at times when you didn't understand why. They were not random. They were seeds for this very hour. You are not helpless, and you are not alone. I have stationed my angels around you even now. Some have stood at your side since the hour of your birth. Others I have released recently, for the assignment ahead requires greater reinforcement. There is a cry rising from the land. The earth groans, the animals move in patterns unfamiliar, and the birds change their flight. These are not trivial things. All creation is responding to the shifting in the heavens. My throne is unshaken, but my presence is moving in ways the world has not seen in generations. My spirit is brooding over the earth once more, And I am calling forth sons and daughters, not merely believers, but carriers of my glory, voices of my truth, hearts that beat with my compassion. You, my child, are one of them. That is why the enemy has tried so relentlessly to discourage you. That is why you have walked through seasons of silence and delay. It was never abandonment. It was preparation. You wondered why doors closed, why prayers seemed unanswered, but it was all to shield you from premature exposure. I was not withholding from you. I was protecting what I was building in you. You are not late, you are right on time. Now hear me clearly, stay close. Do not wander in search of lesser comforts. Do not drink from wells that do not satisfy. You will need clarity in the days ahead, and that clarity comes only from abiding in me. Let my word be your compass, not the news. Let my peace be your guard, not the opinions of many. People will panic, leaders will falter, systems will shake, but you remain still in me. There will be a separation. A line is being drawn not by man but by heaven. Those who truly know me will be distinguishable not by speech, but by fruit. Love will no longer be a slogan, but a lifestyle tested in fire. Patience, peace, gentleness, these will shine brighter in chaos. The counterfeit will be exposed. The shallow will be emptied. But you, my child, press deeper. Walk in truth, even when it's unpopular. Stand firm, even when mocked. Love boldly, even when rejected. I am calling you also to intercede for your family, for your city, for those who are blind and unaware. Your prayers are not whispers in the dark. They are thunder in the heavens. Even when you feel nothing, know that every word spoken in faith before me builds a wall, opens a path, births a miracle. Pray without ceasing, not from duty, but from intimacy. I desire not just your voice, but your heart. Do not underestimate what I can do through a yielded vessel. The world looks for power in numbers. I look for power in surrender. You, surrendered, are more dangerous to darkness than legions without me. Do not shrink back. I am with you. When you step into rooms, atmospheres will shift not because of who you are alone, but because of who is in you. A time will come, even soon, when many will seek answers. They will no longer be satisfied with shallow platitudes or vague beliefs. They will hunger for the real, the true, the eternal. And when they come, I want them to find me in you. Let your life be an altar. Let your words be living water. Let your actions preach louder than your sermons. The hour is late, but there is still time. Time for souls to return. Time for hearts to awaken. Time for my children to rise. Be generous in spirit. Give more than you withhold. Speak with grace, but do not dilute the truth. Shine with love, but do not compromise. This balance of grace and truth, love and righteousness can only be walked by those who abide in me. So abide, my child. Let your roots grow deep. Let your spirit stay tender. Let my presence be your daily bread. In the days ahead, there will be strange signs, technological failures, governmental tremors, social unrest. All these things are symptoms of deeper spiritual dislocation. But you are not called to react in fear, you are called to respond in faith. Wherever I place your feet, speak peace. Wherever I send you, carry light. You are my ambassador. You are my vessel. Remember what I spoke to you long ago in the quiet moments you thought were forgotten. I do not forget. Every tear you cried I gathered. Every silent prayer I recorded. Nothing has been wasted. The pain you endured has produced oil. The waiting has produced depth. The breaking has made room for greater filling. My child, listen closely, for this word I speak to you now is sacred. It is not born of emotion or impulse, but of eternal truth that flows from my heart, truth unmoved by time, undiminished by human intellect, and untouched by the shifting winds of this world. What I say to you, I say with all the weight of my love, all the purity of my wisdom, and all the strength of my justice. Do not ignore my warnings. When I send a word of caution, it is not to burden you, to bind you, or to take away your freedom. It is because I see what you cannot. I know what lies beyond the hill you are climbing. I hear the whispers that your ears cannot detect, and I feel the tremors of storms forming in realms unseen. My warnings are not cries of control, they are songs of love, sounding alarms from the watchtower of eternity. They are the voice of a father who loves so deeply that he would rather shake your world than watch you be lost to it. To ignore my warning is to walk willingly into a place where mercy must step aside and consequence takes its rightful place. My child, do you not know that I warn because I desire to protect you? I caution because I long to preserve what I have planted in you. Even the smallest whisper of correction from my spirit carries within it a depth of mercy far greater than you can comprehend. Every time I speak, even when it is to correct or to caution, it is a gift and invitation to align yourself with life, with safety, with peace. Do not allow your heart to grow dull. In a world that rushes with noise and distraction, my voice is often still and small, but it carries the weight of oceans and the fire of the stars. When I stir your spirit, when I tug at your conscience, when I speak through the unease in your heart, or the repeated signs before your eyes, it is I reaching out. Will you turn away from me, or will you lean in? There have been many, my child, who have turned a deaf ear to me. Their stories are written in my word, not to shame, but to warn you, to guide you, to remind you that choices carry consequence, and that heedlessness bears a bitter harvest. Consider the story of Lot's wife. I sent messengers to deliver Lot and his family from the destruction I had declared over Sodom and Gomorrah. My warning came with urgency, with clarity, with compassion. I did not hide what was coming. I sent angels. I gave them instruction. I even delayed the judgment until they were led away to safety. Yet still, though the command was clear, though my love was evident, Lot's wife turned back. I had said, "Do not look back." That was not a suggestion. That was a lifeline. A line drawn between life and death. But her heart remained tethered to the city of sin. She longed for what I had called her out of. And in her hesitation, in her disobedience, in her disregard of my warning, she turned and became a pillar of salt, a memorial, not just of my justice, but of how fatal a single moment of disobedience can be. I do not warn without reason, and I do not issue commands to prove my authority. My child, I am not like men who demand loyalty to satisfy pride. I am holy, yes, but I am love, and even my holiness is saturated in mercy. When I say, "Do not look back," it is because looking back invites the destruction you were saved from. When I say, "Flee," it is because danger is real and time is short. Another story I want you to recall is that of King Zedekiah, the final king of Judah. I sent my prophet Jeremiah to him over and over, pleading, warning, revealing the truth of what was to come. I did not desire Judah's ruin. I warned through dreams, visions, and the unwavering voice of my servant. I told Zedekiah that if he surrendered to the Babylonians, his life would be spared, the city would not be burned, and his people would survive. But he refused. He feared men more than me. He listened to advisers filled with pride rather than to the voice of the Almighty. And in the end, everything I said came to pass. Jerusalem was besieged. The temple was destroyed. His sons were killed before his very eyes, and then his eyes were taken from him. He was carried away in chains, broken and humiliated, living out the remainder of his life in sorrow. Did I not warn him? Did I not give him a chance to choose differently? My warnings are not threats, they are opportunities. They are doors to escape judgment, to step into my protection, to walk the higher road. But many close their ears, because the way of obedience often feels hard in the moment. What they do not realize is that the weight of disobedience is far greater and lasts much longer. You, my child, are living in days where my warnings abound. They come through Scripture, through prophecy, through my Spirit stirring your inner being. Sometimes they come through strangers, through dreams, through circumstances that nudge you to look again, to pause, to reconsider. Do not grow so accustomed to my grace that you take it for granted. Do not become so familiar with my kindness that you assume consequences will not come. Yes, I am slow to anger and abounding in love. Yes, I delay judgment in hope that hearts will return to me. But I will not be mocked, and I will not withhold justice when it is due. If I did, I would not be holy. I would not be righteous. My delay is not denial, it is mercy giving you space to turn, to soften, to realign. My child, understand this. Ignoring my warning is not just disobedience, it is spiritual blindness. It is to trust in your own understanding above the wisdom of the eternal. It is to say, I know better, even when you do not see what lies ahead. And that pride always precedes a fall. There are many who once walked with me but chose their own path when correction came. Their lives tell the tale of what happens when the voice of God is ignored. Some lost their purpose. Others lost their peace. Some lost relationships. Others lost their very lives. Not because I abandoned them, but because they walked out from under the covering I provided. It is not enough to know my voice, you must obey it. It is not enough to recognize my leading, you must respond to it. Even partial obedience is disobedience in my sight. When Saul spared what I told him to destroy, though he claimed it was for sacrifice, I saw his heart. I said to him through my prophet Samuel, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. My words are not open for modification. They are holy. My child, when I warn, it is often before the danger looks real. I speak ahead of the storm, not in the middle of it. That is why so many dismiss my voice. They say nothing is wrong. Nothing has happened. Everything is normal. But they do not see the clouds forming beyond the horizon. They do not know the weight their soul will carry once the storm breaks. I warned Noah of rain when the skies were still blue. I told him to build an ark when people laughed, when society thrived, when no one had ever seen a drop from the heavens. But because Noah listened, because he obeyed, he and his family were saved. My warning is not always in the face of danger, it is in the lull before it. That is when the wise listen. That is when the faithful prepare. So what shall you do, my child, when I speak? Do not delay. Delay is the seed of rebellion. Do not debate. Debate is the doorway to doubt. Instead, yield quickly. Trust fully. Move when I say move. Stop when I say stop. Even if you don't understand, obey. Understanding will come later. But obedience must come now. To heed my warning is to honor my sovereignty. It is to say, Lord, I believe you see what I cannot. I trust that you know what I do not. It is to place me back on the throne of your life, to submit your intellect to my eternal knowledge. That posture, my child, is one of safety, one of joy, one of peace. I do not delight in the downfall of anyone. I take no pleasure in judgment. That is why I warn. That is why I send voices ahead. That is why I knock again and again on the doors of hearts hardened by pride or pain. I do not give up easily. My love is relentless. But my justice is real, and when it comes swiftly. You have felt me speak before. You have sensed the pull to turn, to shift, to walk away from certain decisions or relationships. Sometimes you listened, and peace followed. Other times you hesitated. You reasoned, you delayed, you compromised, and you tasted the bitterness of regret. That was not me punishing you, that was the fruit of choices made outside of my will. I allowed it, not to destroy you, but to teach you, to bring you back to me. Now once again I am warning you, not only about things to come, but about the posture of your heart. Stay tender. Stay alert. Keep your ears tuned to my spirit. For even in the days ahead there will be more warnings, some gentle, others urgent. I may call you to leave a place, to end an association, to release a pursuit, to speak a truth, to be still. These instructions will not always make sense in the moment, but they will protect you. My warnings are not about fear, they are about preparation. Noah prepared. Joseph prepared. Esther prepared. They were not caught unaware. They walked in wisdom, and they fulfilled their purpose. So too shall you, if you listen and respond when I speak. Do not follow the crowd. They often walk blindly. Follow me, even if the path is narrow. Even if it costs you comfort, reputation, or acceptance. Better to walk alone with me than to run with many into ruin. For the path I lead you on may be difficult, but it leads to life. And finally, my beloved, know this: when you heed my warning, when you align your steps with my instruction, you not only protect yourself, you open the door for others to be saved. Your obedience becomes a covering for your household. Your listening becomes a light for those still in darkness. Your faith becomes the bridge by which others may cross into safety. So when you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. When I call, do not hide. When I convict, do not resist. Respond swiftly. Obey fully. Trust completely. For I am not a man that I should lie. I do not speak without purpose. Every word I speak is truth, and every warning I give is mercy. My child, I love you. My desire is not to destroy, but to deliver. My heart is not for wrath, but for redemption. But the gate is narrow. The way is holy, and only those who listen, who watch, who yield will enter into the fullness I have prepared. I am speaking even now. Can you hear me? Then follow. Now.
Thanks for watching God's Words. Subscribe for daily divine message. Click on the notification button so you don't miss out daily God message.